for our regularly scheduled meeting. First, we need to do roll call. Do you want me to call your names, or Anka, you want to say you're here?
Yeah, Anka is here.
Polly?
Polly's here.
Kate, trying to cut in line, but there you go, Kate. And myself makes a quorum. Oh, Elaine. I'm
Thanks,
sorry,
Stephen.
It's because of the tiles. I went out of order. But Elaine, you're here. That's great. So we have a quorum. Jackie, thank you for joining us. Lori, the same to you as well. Mike, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We don't need any alternates. Okay, our first application is application 21-02 of SR0A 1280 Hot Meadow LLC, owner and sign like care of Mark Del Tullio for constructing a non-illuminated wall sign at the property located at 1280 Hot Meadow Street. Mark, are you with us? You are on mute, I might remind you. Oh, come on, that was a beautiful tee up. Mark, are you there? All right, Mark, I know you shut off mute, but we can't hear you quite yet.
Steve, maybe I'll take over for Mark quick as he's getting loading up.
No worries.
So the owner of 1280 Hot Meadow Street, which is the existing storage facility, is looking to do some changes to the signage that's out there. Part of the proposal is to add a new sign. There will be a built-in mounted sign on the northwestern corner of the building. You have it in your package, non-illuminated. The sign meets the zoning regulations. It's just that existing, you have some smaller little placards. And at the time, previously, if some members may recall, there was a series of tenants that were also out front. Now it's just strictly self-storage there. Those tenant spaces are no longer there. So that's why they're here tonight. I mean, like I said, it's non-illuminated. It's done. They scaled back the size. It meets the zoning regulations. So from a staff perspective, I didn't see an issue with this.
Okay. I did have one comment myself. And then we'll go through everyone's comments to discuss how it ties in. Mark, do you have audio by chance? All right, so Mike, that roof, is it existing blue over there? I honestly don't know. I thought it was a different color, though.
No, I think it's a gray, if I recall.
Does that matter? It doesn't really matter, though, does it?
No, I mean, it's still, because there was the previous signs of the building were red, the last one that we approved.
Okay, so my one personal comment on it was if we could incorporate some form of border on the sign, it just might define it a little nicer as a sign.
Hey guys, I just got on.
Oh, we just finished.
I had to use my phone, my computer. I had to get a long story short, but I'm on my phone now, guys. Good evening, everyone.
It's working fine. So
cool. Thank you.
So
Stephen, are you thinking like a black border, like a to give it some significance against the gray backdrop?
Just something to define it and sort of wrap it as a
the black would be nice because that's the outline of the United States little map there. That would tie it in all in together. I think I like that idea a lot.
Okay, well,
sure.
You know, it's open to everyone. All right, Mark. Mike gave us a quick lead-in, which pretty much just said you are conforming to all zoning regulations as far as signage and as far as square footage is what I meant to say, and the color sticks with your existing plan in so much as it was red, the prior sign. So I don't think we have much issue with that. But is there anything you'd like to add?
No, I heard your comments about putting a border around the perimeter of the sign, which we could certainly do. A black, maybe 1.5 inch outline border around the sign to encapsulate it, give it a little framework around it. But other than that, I heard the lead in. Again, you said it's a non-illuminated sign. It's going to be a one-piece. wall-mounted sign, and I could certainly redesign it, just adding that black border to it.
Okay. For further clarification, as far as what Mike implied, the previous tenant signs have been removed, or they will be removed as part of this new sign package?
If you're asking us to do that, certainly we can. They had a few small, I would almost call them incidental signs. One, I think, said office, and just getting people to the main entrance. But I could certainly tell our client that in order to get this larger building sign, the town would recommend them removing the other smaller signs around the office space. If that's the case, we can certainly have that done.
I'm inclined, but we're bored. It's not just what I am.
So the signs, Mark, that you're referring to on the picture here are on the pillars where it says office and it looks like one says open. Yes,
those are there currently.
But those are still helpful and applicable.
Yeah, I'm talking about the other units where it used to be Terpsichore, or however you say that, the dancing studio. And there were a couple other tenants. I just don't know if that sign is still up or if we can just clean it, is really where I was going. As far as directional signs such as office, I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
But to be honest, your open sign's not legal, so I won't comment on that. But
yeah, if that's a neon sign, which doesn't go along with regs. So
well, it's illuminated.
Yeah. Okay.
But we didn't see it technically. We're going to stick with our purview.
Sure.
Which, just to clarify, I was talking about the wrap of the building, just, as far as removing any signage from defunct businesses. We'd like to have it cleaned up as part.
Sure. I'm not working with the other businesses, but if they are defunct and the sign should be removed because the business doesn't, occupy the space anymore, I have no problem taking those down. I'm unaware of all of that, but if that is the case, we can certainly take them down while my guys are there installing. We could have no problem removing those signs.
They are there, and not to overburn it, but my other concern is the possible replacement of one of those existing defunct signs and thinking that it was going to slide in because there was already a sign there. I want to be in the understanding that this is the only actual signage that we're authorizing. Other than you do have a sign out by the road, right? That's staying as is?
No, that sign that's out by the road is getting removed. It's falling apart, and we sent over a design of an exact replacement of it. Just a cleaner, new aluminum poles, same footprint, same size, just a newer design, red, white, and blue. Just a cleaner, much more modern and professional sign than what is out there now. Same footprint, same location. There's some overhead lighting that's defunct, that's getting removed and trashed. So the street sign, we sent designs upon it, and it sounded like it was going to be okayed. And that was just the meeting tonight was more about the building sign, if I'm correct.
No problem. We usually try and have a package where we look at it all at once, but we can do piecemeal.
Certainly. Sure.
I must, not to digress, but I'm going to ask, you said you're throwing out your existing illumination. Are you proposing uplights or something? You're going to equal or less, right?
Yeah, no illumination any longer at all. The existing lights there are they're shot. They're old, they're tired. The client, our client doesn't want illumination. So yeah, we're just going to cap off the wires, put it in the J box, make it a UL listed disconnected area, and just install a new freestanding sign in the same place, same square footage, just a much nicer, newer sign.
That's great. That's exactly what I was looking for. But as I said, let's go back to where we are on this parapet wall or whatever that crowning is. Elaine, do you mind, not to single you out, but we'll start with you since I messed up on roll call. What input do you have into the proposal?
I do like the suggestion of putting a border on the sign. I think it'll look a lot sharper on the building. And I don't have really anything to say besides that. I think your point about removing the defunct signs was a good one.
All right, Anka, if you could go next with your input.
I agree with you, Steve. Yeah, no, the black border is fine. Everything looks okay. So, yeah, nothing else to add. Thank you.
My pleasure. Polly.
I'm all set with what everyone said so far, so that's good.
Okay. Kate?
Same. Sounds good.
My kids do that. Jinx. All right. Well, I think we've sort of pretty much covered it. It's a pretty basic application with what's, in our purview this evening. Would someone else like to make the motion just so it's not all me? Or make a motion?
I move we give a positive referral to, oh gosh, I don't have the number.
Application 21-02.
Yes, to application number 21-02 at 1280 Hot Meadow Street.
Second.
If you don't mind, Elaine, before we second that, with the addition of a border around the perimeter of the sign,
Yes.
Approximately, give or take 1 1/2 inches.
Yes. With the advice of a approximately 1.5 inch border added to the proposed design.
And who was the second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Okay, so it's unanimous. Thank you very much for coming in, Mark.
You're welcome.
Look forward to seeing you again if we have to see you for the other sign. Good luck.
All right. Very good. Now, just while we're all together, for the other sign, it was my understanding that the other sign was a go because it's going in the same spot, in the same place. There's a woman I spoke to in your office that said the building sign was the one that needed review, and the street sign was a like for a like exchange, and nothing more needed to really be discussed there. Was I wrong with that?
I'll defer to Mike, but I think even or less, since you're removing lighting, there's really, as long as you stick with the primary colors of your sign package.
Yeah.
I think I see him nodding.
Yeah, Mark, you're good. You're good with the other sign.
Okay, thank you. And I thought so. Thank you, Mike.
All right, cool. Thanks again.
All right. Have a good evening, everyone.
Okay, good night.
All right. Bye.
Thank you. All right, so moving along is application 21-03 of Stephanie Civitillo, applicant for a site plan approval for an outdoor patio and at the property located at 10 Wilcox Street. Is it and a sign package, Mike, or just the patio we're doing tonight?
We actually did the lighting and sign previously. You're all that's left for this application is the patio.
All right, great.
Which Stephanie provided. I know that, when was it, about December, early December, she was last before this commission, presented the lights and other outside improvements. She now is coming forward with the patio and has more information for us. So maybe we could turn it over to Stephanie, and then if there's any questions, I can screen share some of the documents that she provided to us.
Well, I was just curious, as far as the design review board members, did you all get the email from about 3:15 this afternoon?
Yep.
That
Yes.
had great insight. All right, so cool. We're very familiar with it, Stephanie. Thank you for that detail. Stephanie, over to you. Go ahead, introduce your idea.
So we want to put a patio across the front of Rue and use the same pavers that are currently there. What we're proposing will not change the current walkway and the current handicap accessibility. Right now, the front, the door in the middle of the brownstone and the one that used to be the hibachi room that we're now calling the jazz room, neither one of those are used for handicap accessibility. It's really going into the building. So that's going to continue to be the way that we're going to get into the building. So we're not changing any of that. But we are putting pavers where all the landscaping was across the front of the building.
So all those trees are going to come down?
Yes.
Okay.
So actually the one all the way to the right, off the edge of the building is going to stay.
Okay, but the two big giant evergreens by the front door are going to go.
They're already gone.
Oh, okay. All right.
Well, put them back.
Yeah, right. I gotta go take a look.
We had talked about that before because they had gotten so huge. So they're down now.
Okay.
So if you look at the picture of Fiddler's Green, the one that looks like this.
Yep.
Well, I mean, does everyone have that?
It was in the
So.
email.
Yeah, it was in the package.
So everyone does have it, or do we want to ask Mike to share it?
He's starting to screen share. Thank you, Mike.
Okay.
So if you look at this, there's a little wall, and it kind of makes like a triangle. I'm not going to be too exact, so I'm going to tell you it looks like a triangle. Whenever we were talking about using the brick pavers in the picture that was in the email, it's for that. It's for the retaining wall. Because right now, those gardens slope towards the parking lot, and they slope in both directions towards the parking lot. So that retaining wall is going to pick it back up, so it's not exactly flat because it does have grading to have runoff. Does that make sense? We're actually looking to use cedar planks to make the different planters. So when you see those square planters, those are cedar planks. Can you see that?
Yeah, you ran all this by the fire marshal, right? He's cool with the 48-inch egress?
Yeah.
Pathway, whatever you call it?
Yeah.
All right.
And then we have if you look in the picture, I put the fire pit over under the Joe Pizza sign. It's going to be a little bit further to the right than that. I messed that up. I put it wrong, just a little bit in the wrong spot.
Oh, I see where it is.
Joe Pizza sign?
I mean? Yeah, there's a Joe Pizza sign.
As we're looking at the facade, on the right it is?
On the left.
On the left. Over near where it says Fiddler's Green main entrance.
Oh, now I see it. Behind the umbrella in the other shot we had in the packet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is Joe Pizza cool with this, not to say it?
I didn't ask them if they were cool with it, actually. The owners, the landlords are. I didn't ask Joe Pizza.
I know, it's probably stirring poop.
Good question.
I just don't know if we should acknowledge that, them being an affected neighbor, just being up front. We're supposed to.
Yeah.
Mike, over here.
The landlord, unfortunately, I mean, you're right, Steve. I think we just acknowledge that, the landlord gave an okay for this, which we do have a letter in our files that the Natcharian signed off on this application, and we go from there. Because I mean, really, it's the landlord is going to be the one who's going to say yes or no, and they're the ones who are also going to get, if there's a complaint from one of the tenants, hey, why did you let them do that?
Yeah.
Works for me. I just want to cross T's and dot I's.
Yep.
Awesome.
All right, Stephanie, I feel like I interrupted you. Please continue on. Were you going to tell us about the plantings, maybe?
Yes. So one of the things that you see on here, which is one of the things I wanted to talk to you about, is these planters, the big square, the rectangular planters, have breaks in between them. So it's not one huge solid wall of cedar all the way down the building. So we were looking to put concrete planters in between to break it up visually a little bit. And so the question is, can we do the gray pots, or would you want me to do the royal blue that matches everything else that we're doing? Or do you have a preference?
I'm deferring to the other board members. Does anyone have any input on that?
What kind of gray or blue?
Yes.
And the blue matches the blue of Rue? Would those be ceramic?
Yes.
Wouldn't they kind of get destroyed in the winter? Or would you bring them in?
Would bring them in because I want to actually plant rosemary bushes in them, large rosemary bushes to help with bugs.
Yeah, that's a nice idea. I just know with ceramic planters, they don't do well in the winter.
Okay.
So you would bring them in at whatever, Thanksgiving or whatever you choose. And then those areas would be having nothing during the winter.
Yes, but the cedar planters would be full.
They're year round.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I like the idea of blue. That kind of ties it all together instead of the gray. That's my opinion.
What do y'all think?
Anyone else? Okay, you're just nodding yes to everything tonight. Can I have $20?
So are you looking at two different materials, either blue ceramic or gray concrete? Are those your options? Because you were talking about concrete. Okay.
Yeah.
Another thought was do something sandstone to match the building.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say.
And not the gray ever. Sorry, my opinion again.
Yeah, gray. I don't like the idea of gray concrete either, Polly. I think either something that matches the native brownstone or the blue ceramic. I
agree. Thanks, Elaine.
Also, I don't think you'll be able to remove them, right? Aren't they just very big and heavy? They will stay there during winter. So
we can actually put them on wheels. We have a way to lift them up and move them in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have
brownstone or the blue are fine. Yes. Okay.
All right.
The planting said, anything but gray. So maybe we should just recommend the blue ceramic.
Okay.
Since that's what everyone seems to be saying. The other option is Rust-Oleum has that hammered paint that you could paint the concrete to look like sandstone. But with you wanting them inside, you want them inside the building. Is that correct?
Yes.
It seems like ceramic, but we can say yes to either. Go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt.
That's awesome. So I wanted to put rosemary bushes in those. In the actual planters, most of them are 6 feet long. The ones all the way to the right of the picture are a little bit shorter because it's less space over there. But those 6-foot planters are cedar wood on the outside, and I want to plant daffodils, irises, daisies, and creeping thyme in them. So what that gives you is flowers that come back year after year, and they don't attract as many bees and birds as a lot of the other flowers that we could have put there. The other thing that it does is the fleur-de-lis is actually an iris.
Oh, nice.
So it ties that back in. I have a whole bunch of irises at my house too that, and we planted a whole bunch in the courtyard at Simsbury High. So I know they do really well and they're easy to take care of. But the creeping thyme gives you, it's another bug deterrent.
That's great insight. So just for clarification too, at one point we had discussed a railing. It looks sort of wrought ironish. Is that just no longer around, or?
Yes, because we were trying to figure out for the Liquor Commission what we needed to do. And so I was working with Mike and we were going back and forth. And the answer is we have to have a block so people can't just walk off with alcohol, but it didn't have to be a railing. So this is a much prettier option.
Yeah, we were looking at the two options of fencing or landscaping, and I suggested that you look at a few other patio areas that have been approved by this commission and the zoning commission, such as the outdoor patio area at Iron Horse Pub, where they used landscaping as their perimeter controls. And so she decided using the planters, and this is like, I think personally, it looks better than having the iron fencing or fencing around the perimeter. Plus, with the plantings that she's proposing, giving the seasonal colors that will be out there, it's gonna enhance the area.
It may not be in our under our umbrella, but what are the tables and chairs going to be made of?
So we were looking to use the same chairs that we have inside, those blue chairs, because they're metal. So they're indoor-outdoor chairs.
Okay, so metal chairs, and then tables are going to be what?
Wood top with a black base.
Okay, so it kind of has some of that metal feel to it. That well, I guess it doesn't matter since there's no metal railing, but it's all going to be in that same blue color, right?
Yeah, the tables aren't going to be blue. The tables will be wood, and we'll be staining them. And sealing them and sealing them and sealing them.
Okay. All right. It just, I always go one step further. So
that's good. Yeah. That was a really good question.
Stephanie, just one thing I forgot to ask you was watering of the planters, are you going to do any sort of irrigation for that, or you just you just going to do it by hand? Existing faucet,
definitely.
etc. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely not irrigation in the planters.
Just in case there was a drip irrigation or anything like that out there, we're aware of it.
Good point.
The only question I have, I like everything that you're doing. It's a great effort. I really commend you for your energy to pull all this together. The only question that I have, I wonder, would you consider at some point having umbrellas, like big parasols above the tables,
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. This will be a nice...
In blue, yeah.
A nice accent, They will add a lot of color to the whole patio. Yeah.
Yeah.
And definitely, I like the planters and the brownstone much better than the railing that you showed us last time. So yeah, I totally agree with Mike. It's much nicer. Everything looks fantastic. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
I have a quick question. So as we look at that facade view again, the pavers, or rather the landscape bricks that have the textured redstone size, do those come out into the parking lot, or are they stacked upon the existing concrete curb? Are they recessed?
Neither. Yeah, they're recessed. So there's a 3-foot walkway right now from the parking lot to the flower beds. It's still going to be that 3-foot walkway. Our retaining wall starts after that. It starts in the beds. Okay.
So none of this patio construction will take away any parking spaces, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And it's also not going to take away any of the walkways that are currently there.
Okay.
That was a big part of that. Yeah.
Does anyone else have any further comments or creative ideas? Okay. Mike, we can treat this as one positive referral, right?
Yeah, because you're just handling the site plan. The zoning commission obviously has 2 applications tonight. They have a liquor license and a patio.
Right. Okay, so after hearing our feedback, is there any last minute questions for Stephanie? Okay, after hearing our feedback, I'll just make it quick. I'd like to propose an application 21-03 of Stephanie Civitillo, applicant for a site plan approval for an outdoor patio at the property located at 10 Wilcox Street. I'd like to offer a positive referral to the zoning commission and make this motion. Would someone second it?
I do.
Second.
It.
All right, we have to decide on one. Laura, did you pick one? I'm going to go with her saying yes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Elaine, you're good with that?
Aye-eyed.
All right. That is all those against, abstain. So it is unanimous with your positive referral. Thanks, Stephanie. Good luck.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. So next on our agenda is the approval of minutes on the January 4th meeting of this year. Did anyone have the opportunity to pursue them and see anything that was not correct?
I looked at them and they were fine for me.
I'll be honest, I looked them over too, and Kate is again nodding yes. I'm going to go with that.
I'm very agreeable today.
So I'd like to make a motion that we approve the minutes of January 4th, 2021 as is.
Second. Oh, Polly, you can have it.
Thanks, Kate.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Elaine?
I abstain
Oh,
because I was not at that meeting.
I am so sorry. You're right. That is why we go through all of them. I should also acknowledge if anyone was opposed, and there is not an abstain, of course, is Elaine. So thank you very much. Is there any other general discussion we should be having, Mike?
No, I think we have in your packet, if anyone's interested, The Connecticut Bar Association is doing their usual, they do once every 2 years, legal update. They're doing it this year by Zoom. If anyone's interested, it's an interesting conference to go to. I know, Steve, you went in the past.
Yeah, it was exciting. Thrilling.
So
real nail biter.
Don't hold it back. Don't hold back your enthusiasm, Steve.
You know, it is insightful. If you're volunteering for this board, it means that you do find this stuff somewhat interesting because the compensation, let's face it, is not much. It's nothing. So this is what you get as compensation. It does. The beauty of it when I did go was you don't have to be there for all of it. They have an agenda, and within that agenda are specific things that if you find them intriguing, you join for that, and then you go have drinks when you're not. So that's the way I was led to understand what transpires at this. So yeah, we just have to let Laura know by what date. I think it was like mid-March.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have some time to mull it over. If you're available though and have the interest, it is educational and it is interesting. Although I make a humor.
I actually have to register you guys by February 15th if you want the written material. So if you could let me know as soon as possible, that would be great.
I didn't get any information on that, Laura. Could you send what that really is, like a little more detail on that?
Sure thing.
Okay, thank you.
I think it might be in our Dropbox, Laura. Is it?
Oh, I didn't see it there, but
It should be in our Dropbox. But if not, Polly, we'll email it to you right after this meeting.
okay, that'd be great. No hurry.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Is there anything else anyone would like to acknowledge? Other than Mike's green giant finger that keeps coming?
I'm so sorry. Today's one of those Zoom. I was in Zoom jail in the beginning of the meeting, and I had to use my phone and go upstairs. And sorry.
I've been there. That was the last meeting I was at.